Hello and welcome to Learn Twin Flame Tarot. So I'm really excited because in this video today, which will be our final video, and I want to say a big thank you to all of you for watching this series and taking the time to learn about the cards and, commenting and getting involved. It means so much, and, I'm so grateful I've been able to share this series with you. But this video is going to be answering the questions on the Ask video. So I did a video not long ago and I said, what questions have you got about the cards, or using the cards, or being able to communicate about the cards? Have you got any questions? And a few of you have asked me questions, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to be answering in this video your questions. So I've got the video up here, the ask me what you want, and the first question is from our soul sister Ecotherapy. So how would you go about sharing bad news with someone? What if you feel it and the cards also show it? Have you experienced this before? Is it our own perception and fear? Does the spirit ever share bad news? You are the most loving, positive card reader I know, and that is why I'm drawn to you. Thank you so much, and I've put great question. Now, first of all, there is no bad cards in the tarot. You may see the devil as a bad card, or the death card as a bad card, or the Three of Swords as a bad card. It's all about perception. So my journey is to, with the power of the angels, help you see things in a different light. Because there's always a positive in every negative. Now, if you pull out some cards that you may see as negative, and say you get the devil and the Three of Swords or the death card, usually the client you're reading for is very aware of these things that are going on. So therefore, it's not a shock to them. If you say, oh, there's a big change coming in, or, you're in separation, or these things, it's not a shock to that person. So it's not bad news, because you are just letting them know what they already feel and know. And the way, the angels will never share anything that's going to cause pain or suffering, because that's not the way the heavenly realm works. If you're giving out messages of death and destruction, you have to ask yourself where that's coming from. Because is that coming from the ego? Is that coming from a dark place? Because when you are operating in your higher self doing a reading, your own fear and your own journey and your perception of what you're going through shouldn't really come into it. When I'm reading, I'm not Liz, I'm higher self of Liz, if that makes sense. So, when I'm doing a reading, my ego isn't even there. The angels kind of remove it. And then when I finish my reading, woo, the ego comes back. So this is why when I'm doing readings, I don't ever swear, because swearing is not of the angelic realm, or, the angels channel. And you'll know this, when you're doing a reading, it'll come from a place and you're like, where's that come from? You won't even know what you're talking about most of the time, because it's not coming from you, it's coming from heaven. So you're channeling and relaying messages from somewhere else. You may use words that you've never used before, or you don't even know what they mean in a channeling, because it's coming from a higher place. So, the angels give me the word hogwash, which I've never used that word before, but I've kind of researched the word since, because I use it. And it's also what people used to say in olden days, back in the times of Jesus and all these things. So you'll use words that you're not even aware of why you're using them. But regarding bad news, there is no bad news. If you say to someone, oh, I see that a separation there, it's not bad. A separation is not bad news. Separation is preparation for union. Or, if you talk about them having that desire to leave a karmic partner, they already know that. So that's actually not bad news, it's good news. Or if you see something going on in the physical body, it's good news that you are explaining why it's happening, or what guidance the angels have. So remember, there's no bad cards in the reading. Okay, it's all about how we are channeling the messages, because we are allowing heavenly guidance in, and how we are reading the cards. Reminding yourself and the client that this journey is a journey of healing and a journey of growth. So everything in the tarot tells a story of what's going on. So for example, let's pull 3 cards for the feminine, just to bring in an example. So let's have a look. So the cards we've got are 7 of Cups, 4 of Swords, and the 5 of Swords. Wow. So you could see these as conflicting cards, because first of all, the 4 of Swords is kind of like a little break energy. The 5 of Swords is about overcoming things, destructive energy, and the Seven of Cups is about choice. So you could look at the Seven of Cups and say, there's choices here. So you could see that as in, well, there's many things they could do. You know, are they actually going to choose you? But the truth is that when they choose themselves, they always choose the feminine. So the message is, I have options, but I only want you. I have options. There's many, many things that I could do, or many, many choices, but I only want you. And the Four of Swords, I'm reflecting. So a time of separation or distance or, you know, quiet time is a time to reflect. I'm reflecting on and healing the past through meditation and self-care. And the Five of Swords, whatever you're going through, I am a warrior of this love and I will prevail. And, you know, prevail is also a word that I wouldn't use in day-to-day life. You know, when I was channeling this deck, that came to me from above. So remember, it's all in perception, yes, but it's about what you're channeling without ego, because there is no ego. You know, there is no ego. You know, when I do personal readings, I give very clear guidance, but also there's a choice there. There's no judgment. You know, there's never a judgment in a reading. If you're judging anything or anyone, that's coming from ego. And when you're reading cards, you don't operate in the ego. Or at least that's what you should not be doing. But there is, remember, should, could, would. It's all about your journey with the cards. So to answer your question, how would you go about sharing bad news with someone, knowing that there is no bad news? I'm not afraid to express what I'm feeling when I'm looking at a card, or what my intuition is telling me, or the message coming through. Because the person you're reading for will always understand the message. You may not understand the message, but they will. You know, maybe something comes in about, you know, a cake or something like that, and you think I've got to tell you about a cake or a certain thing. You may not understand it, but they will. So always say what you're feeling. What if you feel it and the cards also show it? Have you experienced this before? Yes, but again, there's no bad news. So, you know, it's not like the angels would never cause harm. The angels are not going to say things like you're going to die or someone's going to die. Or the angels prepare you for things in your life. They don't scare you. So is it our own perception and fear? No, because that doesn't come into it. Okay, because our own fear, we've got no ego. So we are giving the heavenly perception of what we are speaking out. Does that make sense? Does the spirit ever share bad news? And you are the most loving, positive card reader. The reason why is because I operate from a higher place. When I'm doing readings, the angels are what's guiding me. So whether you were connected with angels, spirit, loved ones, whatever you're doing, if it's coming from a beautiful place of love, then the messages will be filled with love, regardless of what the card is or what the message is. So, you know, it's about love. Love conquers fear. So it's about the reader, not the cards. You know, if you're operating from your higher place, and I talk all about this in the introduction video, you're going to give a loving reading out. If you're operating in, you know, kind of from a fearful place, where you're allowing the ego to come in, that's the type of reading that's going to come in. But that's up to you to shield yourself as a reader and protect your own energy. We've got the guided divine feminine. Thank you so much, Liz. I started months ago doing one each day, and then last month, and I was guided to put them all together and just start reading for my connection. And whenever a card comes out that I didn't learn yet, I try to look at the card and see what I can see, and then go and find it on the series to watch. Putting the aspected cards together has been pivotal in my own spiritual guidance and learning my own intuition. I can't thank you enough, and to think when I found you last year, I was going through so much pain watching your Separation Heal series. Thank you so much. And that means the world that, you know, this series in particular has also helped you to gain an understanding of the cards and to also use your intuition when reading them. So I'm so blessed to have you here. And we've got Anna. Thank you, Liz, for giving me the opportunity to ask about channeling energies through our tarot reading. Because I feel that I won't be able to separate my energy or my twins from a person that would like to have a reading from me. Again, it's pretty much the same message or the same question as we've just had. So it doesn't come into it, okay? It's hard to explain, but you'll understand when you start doing it, you know, because your ego doesn't come into it. Your journey goes away for a while when you are doing readings or you're connecting with the energy of the angels and spirit, because you're out of your body for a while. Does that make sense? It's like, you know, sorry about my wig, it's in my face here. They're saying things don't get in the way. You move things out of the way I'm moving my wig out of the way. So, you know, as soon as you pick up your cards, or you've got your client there in front of you, or you turn your video on to do a reading, or your journey goes away. You know, you can ask the angels, thank you Archangel Michael and Archangel Raziel for moving me out of the way and allowing my higher self in to create and give the best reading I can possibly give to the person I'm reading for. And then you won't even think about it. The ego does not come in when you're doing a reading. It does sometimes when you're doing your own cards, because your ego may say, oh, you know, what does that mean? Or, you know, after. Not when you're doing the reading. When you're doing the reading, it's all beautiful. But after, when the ego comes in and you're walking around, you could think, oh, I mean, you can as well when you're doing readings. Maybe you didn't say something that you were guided to say. And after, the ego saying, you should have said that. Why didn't you say that? But you learn, it's a learning curve. So your journey won't even come into it unless you are guided to share something about your journey that's going to help others. You know, like sometimes I'll put a snippet of what's going on with me and George, or something I'm feeling or experiencing, the angels channel to me. You know, this isn't about me bringing my journey into this channel. You know, that's why me and George don't do a joint channel. They give me a block in the throat. So the big message is, never be afraid to communicate or speak out anything you're feeling or seeing in the cards. So this is what they give me, this block. You know, this block where we learn to release. So, you know, the throat chakra is a big one when we're doing readings, because we can be in fear. We can be in fear about what we see, what we think, what we say. And the angels give us power to overcome all those fears, because we're not operating in ego when we're doing a reading. And then I got a guy called Cleo, or someone called Cleo, sorry, a girl called Cleo, asking me questions, but this is very much a personal question, so I'm not going to answer that. So, you know, so let's do a little kind of mini spread. They all give me a block in the throat. So again, I feel some of you may be a bit concerned about how you channel the right messages, what you say, but just say what you say. Whatever's coming out is coming out for a reason. So we've got I trust in karmic endings. So in a way, there's a karmic ending in your voice and in your kind of persona when you're doing readings, because the ego isn't in there. So trust that everything is as it's meant to be when you're doing a reading. I'm working with the universe to create my dream. So, you know, if you want to do cards as a living, do readings as a living, you can ask the universe to help you. And then work with the universe to create your dream. Maybe it's your dream to have a channel like this one and do cards and help others. You can create that dream. I did, you know, from calling on heaven and believing. And I know now why it could never work out with anyone else, and that sometimes scares me. So, you know, we go into fear when we worry about the journey, thinking, well, I don't want anybody else. You know, I only want my twin. But the universe knows what's best for you. But in this regard, this is understanding that, you know, the person will understand the message, the person you're reading for, because usually someone has a reading when they're in fear, or they're needing guidance or clarity, or there's changes going on, or they just want insight into what's going on with the twin. And you guide. So anything you say, you know, it's not really going to cause harm, because, you know, they're expecting that if that's what they're going through. It's like saying, oh, if you say to someone, I see divorce or legal things, and they know full well they're ready to get divorced, you know, you may see that as a shocking thing, but it isn't, because they were expecting it. So remember, your client will understand the messages. And if you trigger them in any way, remember, it's what triggers heals. You know, my readings sometimes trigger because people either aren't ready to hear the guidance, or they're afraid of facing that guidance, or what that guidance means. So never feel bad. Always cleanse yourself before and say, thank you, angels, for helping me to channel the perfect reading, to give the right guidance and clarity, and to move my ego and my journey out of the way to give the best guidance and be of service the best I can. I hope that helps. Have a great day. Sending you so much love. Let me know, email me, connect with me in the comments, and, you know, tell me how your journey with cards is going as you progress. Because, you know, if you're nervous now, you're going to be so much better and calmer later. Remember, we're all nervous when we first get a deck of cards, but the more you use the cards, the better things become and the calmer you get. I hope this helps. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.